Today I am on an overnighter. My destination for tonight hopefully will be Etna, California, where I'll spend the night. But my route today will take me on a circumnavigation of Mount Shasta, the tallest peak in Northern California. At 14,100 feet, Mount Shasta is the second tallest mountain in the Cascade Range, the tallest being Mount Rainier in the state of Washington. My plan is to leave my home in Southern Oregon and follow next to Interstate 5 south to the residential community of Lake Shastina. From Lake Shastina, I'll then circumnavigate in a clockwise manner around Mount Shasta using both dirt forest roads and paved highways. Well, I'm riding my KTM 390 Adventure. You see I've got it decked out with some soft luggage on the back since I'm going to be spending the night. I'm not camping. I intend to spend the night in Etna, California, at a hotel or at a motel. In the back you see Mount Ashland, and heading this way is the border of Oregon and California to the south. Well, I don't like to take the interstate highway, divided highways. It's not really my kind of adventure ride, but I had to take a few miles of it anyhow. The rest of my ride, though, at least around Mount Shasta anyhow, will be just on either paved roads or some dirt roads. But I still have a little ways to get there. I'll take the backcountry roads. And I'll be passing through a number of small settlements on the way. This is a little town of Hornbrook. It's not a whole lot's open here. And here's the Klamath River. There's my first view of Mount Shasta, which I am going to attempt to circumnavigate. And here's the little crossroads town of Montague. Looks like it's had better days. Well, I'm at a crossroads here. I should fill up with gas, and I see I think a Shell station up here. I'm going to turn to the right and get some gas and get my bearings. Okay, I got a full tank of gas and I got my bearings too. I'm gonna head over to the community of Lake Shastina. I've never been there, but that will be the start of my circumnavigation route around that mountain right there. Well, unfortunately, I've started the circumnavigation, which begins on U.S. Highway 97. It's a major road, a lot of trucks and traffic. Not my ideal road to ride, but it's part of the circumnavigation route. Alright, my turnoff is coming up here. It's called Military Pass Road. Here you can see a lot more of the snow on the north side of Mount Shasta. We really haven't had any moisture at all, so that is either snow left over from last year or perhaps from an earlier storm. Well, it's a beautiful view here. This road is pretty good. It's called Military Pass Road. It's dirt for the most part. I'm hoping it doesn't get too sandy or volcanic. There's obviously volcanic soils here. They can be really slick and slippery. I don't have knobby tires on this bike. It's kind of an 80-20, more of a on pavement tires, but I've ridden them quite a bit on roads like this. So we'll see. I'm hoping it stays like this. Great views. Well, I haven't mentioned it yet, but it's probably obvious that I am traveling alone. And there's inherent risk, of course, riding an adventure motorcycle off-road alone. I do bring quite a bit of safety gear. I've done a video about my safety gear on my channel if you want more details about it, but I do have both medical safety gear, which I hope not to use, and I have safety gear for my bike should I break down. And I also, of course, I do carry a Garmin satellite communicator in case things really go south and I need to be rescued outside of cell phone range. But I try to be a cautious rider. On this road here, I'm doing about 15 miles an hour. I've ridden with others that do much faster than that, but speed is the major issue that gets people into trouble. And by speed, I mean exceeding the speed for the conditions of the road and the conditions of the rider. So, I kind of know what I can do, and I have to work to not exceed that, to keep the motorcycle under my control, not have the motorcycle take control. And a lot of that has to do with, keeping a safe speed. Here's a fork in the road. I go to the right, I'm pretty sure, according to the map. Here I'm kind of following another person's route. So let's continue on. Well, I'm riding on the north side of Mount Shasta,
Most of the, well, all of the road on the north side is unpaved, and I'm running into stretches of volcanic sand like I'm in right now, which makes the going really slow and slippery. So the bike is, moving side to side. I've got to be really careful, so I do not want to drop the bike, of course. And I saw a sign a little ways back. I'm about 25 miles from McLoud, which is on a paved road. So, it could take a couple hours to get there at the speed I'm going through this slippery, volcanic, dusty sand. Hopefully the good hard pack comes back again. Okay, well, I made an executive decision. I'm taking a different route than the one that I had originally planned, but I'm still circumnavigating Mount Shasta. I'm just gonna go on roads that are that I can ride a little faster on, that are a little easier, less challenging rides. And the reason is, it's about 3:20 in the afternoon. Sun sets in about 3 hours, and I was not even halfway through the route around the dirt road section of Mount Shasta, let alone around the whole route. So I didn't want to come out of the mountains or be stuck in the mountains at nightfall, at dark. I've been riding for a few hours and I haven't seen a single vehicle, a single person. So I'm going to take the safe route that takes me to McLoud. It's about 15 miles more of this kind of a dirt forest road. There's been a lot of logging out in this area, so the road's well used. The original route that I had went much higher up on the mountain. A lot of switchbacks, some elevation, and there could be really volcanic, dusty surface too. So, you know what? I'm not a young man, but I've gotten a little bit wiser maybe. Take the conservative choice that still gets me to accomplish the circumnavigation just on an alternative route, playing it safe out here alone. Okay, I made it down to McLoud and the paved highway. Let's go visit McLoud for a second, for a minute or two, and there is Mount Shasta. So I've come approximately, I'd say 180 to 240 degrees around it. I'll have to look at the map to be sure, but I'm on the opposite side from when I started. McLoud is a cute little town. I've been here before, never spent any time here. There's not a lot to see and do, but you can see it's got historic old homes. Here's the McLoud Hotel right ahead of me. Old church up the street. And there is Mount Shasta. They have a room with a view, so to speak, in this town. Well, I've continued a ways on pavement until I reached the city with the same name as the mountain. Mount Shasta City. And it sits right at the base of Mount Shasta, the mountain. Well, I'm completing the circumnavigation of Mount Shasta in the little city of Weed, California. This almost completes it. It gets me, instead of 360 degrees, maybe I did 320 degrees, but I was pretty close from finishing it up. And in my mind, I did the whole thing, huh? I ended up doing a little more pavement than I thought I'd do, but just because I ran out of daylight, or I'm going to run out of daylight. But let me just go through a little town of Weed here. Of course, if you live anywhere around here, you know that Weed was famous for its name. They used to sell lots of t-shirts that say, "I heart weed." And then marijuana became legal here in California, so there's a lot of towns that may not have the name of weed, but they've got weed. Last glimpse of Mount Shasta as I wrap up my circumnavigation and head on over to the little settlement of Etna. And one last view before I head over to Etna. Callahan 27, I think that's what I want. Well, I'm up and over the pass and dropping down the other side into Callahan. I have no idea how big Callahan is. It's likely just to be a couple of houses. I have to say, this is a real fun road on the motorcycle. I just wish I wasn't in such a hurry to get to my destination. Well, here's the little settlement of Callahan. I finally made it. And the Forest Service has a Ranger District office here. Sign said population 250. This is very remote. Okay, I'm stopping at the Etna Hotel, trying to get a room for the night here in Etna. It is about 20 minutes till sunset, and I need a place to stay for the night. Didn't look like they were full, but he said that they were, which is bad news for me because there's really hardly any place to stay in this town. One other place I can check. Well, a bit of a surprise to me that the hotel here in town was full, and he said they're booked until Thanksgiving. Who comes up here? I'm not sure why. So I was desperate, and he said there's only one other place to stay in town. That's the Bluebird Inn, which is a traditional bed and breakfast. So I got there, and some nice folks who are staying here gave me the phone number to the proprietor, and I called, and they had a room available. It's, of course, a little more than I was going to spend at the other place, but it's nice. I get breakfast, and I don't want to ride anymore at night. Already done 200 miles, so I am here at the Bluebird Inn tonight in Etna. Yes. Well, there appears to be only one place in town that's open to eat, and that's the Denny Bar and Distillery. And I just drove by it. It's packed. So I'm going to hope I can get a seat somewhere to get something to eat. Well, the restaurant's open. It's actually quite nice. It's a distillery as well. And I was able to get a seat and a pretty darn good menu, too. I think the menu looks okay. Well, this is a distillery as well as a restaurant, and I get to go and do a couple of tastings. I'm not big on whiskey and other distilled drinks, but I'm going to go ahead and try it since I'm here, and they've offered to take me back in the distilling room and give me a little tour. Well, I had a nice tour of the distillery and decided to
get some samples to take, and I got one of their blends, which is delicious. And it's all done here. Well, that was quite a day for me. About 200 miles total. I did the circumnavigation of Mount Shasta, which was a terrific bucket lister, and then I ended up over in Etna, California, a little town. Thought I wasn't going to have a place to stay, but managed to get this room at the Bluebird Inn and had a good dinner tonight. I am tired. I'm going to hit the rack because tomorrow is another day of riding.